Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. I hope you're all doing well. Today inshallah we'll be doing the third ayat of Suratul Asr, and in fact some part of the ayat in detail inshallah. So let's first do the dua. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Rabbi zidni ilma. O my Lord, increase me in knowledge. Allahumma faqihni fid deen. O Allah, grant me the understanding of the deen. Allahumma inni as'aluka ilman nafi'an wa amalan mutaqabbalan wa rizqan tayyiba. O Allah, indeed I ask you for beneficial knowledge and acceptable deeds and pure and acceptable provision. Ameen Ya Rabbal Alameen. Ayat number 3, Suratul Asr. إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. Except for those who have believed and done righteous deeds and urged each other to truth and urged each other to patience. So here we notice that Allah is making an exception. In the first two ayat, Allah has sworn by the passage of time that indeed mankind is in a huge loss. And here He is making an exception. He is making an exception as to who will be saved from that huge loss. 4 principles have been mentioned in this ayat which can save humanity from eternal loss. Amanu illa allazina amanu, that is faith, iman, having faith. Wa amilu salihat, which is performing the good deeds. The good deeds which are the good deeds according to the criteria established by the revealed text. Wa tawasaw bil haqq, which is urging each other to truth, establishing the truth and then urging each other to the truth. And وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ, which is urging each other to patience. Being patient oneself and then urging or enjoining each other to patience. The root word of Iman, the first principle or the first requirement which can grant us success or which can save us from that huge loss or failure is Iman, right? So Iman, which is faith, the word Iman, we notice that the root word is Hamza Mim Noon, which in Arabic language means to provide peace, to verify, to trust, to believe. This word has been used in all these different meanings in the Holy Quran. As a term, as a technical term, Iman refers to believing in something with complete certainty. In Islam, a believer is required to have complete faith in 6 things. I'm quoting an ayat from Surah Al-Baqarah, ayat 177, which is mentioning these pillars of faith. ليس البر أن تولوا وجوهكم قبل المشرق والمغرب ولكن البر من آمن بالله واليوم الآخر والملائكة والكتاب والنبيين. Righteousness, piety, is not that you turn your faces towards the east or the west, but true righteousness is in one who believes in Allah, the last day, the angels, the books or the book and the prophets. So we notice that the pillars of faith are, or the articles of faith are, number 1, faith in one Allah, one God, then faith in the last day or the day of accountability or resurrection, then faith in angels as a creation of God, as messengers of God, as workers of God, then faith in the revealed book or books, and having faith in God's messengers, as in God's chosen prophets who delivered his message. And the sixth pillar of faith is mentioned in hadith, which is destiny, taqdeer. Having faith in destiny, that God has designed a certain destiny whereby he has given individuals certain freedom in certain actions, and in a lot of other areas there is no freedom or there is no choice. You have been given a certain type of genes and a certain type of lifestyle or circumstances, and none of that is your choice. So all of this is destiny. This is God's destiny or taqdeer. These articles of faith, we notice, are the metaphysical basis of the religion. They are the foundation of the religion. And believing in them, having strong faith in all these articles of faith, actually shapes a person's behavior and ultimately a person's character. And the second principle mentioned in this ayat, which can ensure man's salvation, eternal salvation, is amal salih. Amal salih is generally translated to good deeds in English. For eternal salvation in the hereafter, Quran mentions amal salih, that is good deeds alongside iman, faith. Amal salih, good deeds, we notice, are the natural result of iman or true faith. They are the natural outcome. Having such strong conviction of faith in these metaphysical realities or the ultimate reality it is just but natural that having that kind of faith will lead to these actions, because actions are actually a reflection of your belief system, of what you strongly believe in. So broadly speaking, amal salih are all those deeds which Allah has commanded us to perform, and all those vices which Allah has instructed us to avoid. According to Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, if human actions are based on justice, then these actions are what the Quran calls amal salih. He was of the opinion that whatever beauty, balance, order exists in the universe is on the basis of God's principle of justice and order. And then, whilst explaining amal salih, he writes, when this principle of justice and balance is established firmly in every single corner of the universe, how is it possible that this principle does not exist for man's thoughts and actions? So in this area of man's thoughts and actions too, only those actions or thoughts will be acceptable or praiseworthy which are free from extremism, deviation, and based on the natural principles of justice, balance, and order. This is what God's revelation terms amal salih or good deeds. This is the reason that whichever term the Quran has used to describe bad deeds, if one looks carefully at the meanings of those terms, they are all opposites of balance, justice, and order. So therefore, according to the Quran, the reality of evil is nothing but deviation from justice. For example, let's look at some of the terms used for evil. Zulm, when something is not in the place or position it should rightfully be, then that is zulm. Tughyan, when something crosses its limits. Israf, when more is spent than necessary. Tabdhir, when resources or money are spent in places where they should not be spent. Fasad, something deviating from its natural position of order. I'tida, udwan, when something crosses its limits. So all these terms which are used for sin or evil describe the state of deviation from justice and order. Allama Nasir Makaram Shirazi writes in his tafsir, each of these good deeds which lead to self-actualization in an individual, where there is growth and progress, there's moral training, nearness of Allah is achieved, and all of those actions which lead to the progress of humankind. This can include very small actions, for example, removing a stone from a pathway, where there are a lot of people crossing or going, or huge acts of good, like saving large numbers of people from misguidance and preaching the true faith far and wide. That is, doing good on a huge, large scale, or a very small individual act of good. Maulana Hamiduddin Farahi writes in his tafsir about Amal Saleh that the human being is a small part of the huge machinery of the universe. That is why only those actions will be considered good which are in accordance with Allah's wisdom and order with which He has designed this universe. Allah has not created this world for child's play, but there is a very special system based on wisdom. Allah desires that whatever takes place in this universe be in accordance with that system of wisdom and order. According to Allama Parvez, the righteous deeds, the Amal Saleh, are only those which the Quran has so declared and explained, and not the ones which are good or saleh in our opinion. These righteous deeds within the domain of the permanent values which have been determined by the Holy Quran, lead to self-development and help to restore balance in a society when carried out at a collective level. We should note that the Quran has not given a detailed list of these righteous deeds and has quoted a number of generic examples and left it to us to figure out within the requirements of the time how to live righteously within the permanent values. That is, like the need of the day, according to the need of the day and the time, how to be able to fulfill those, how to be able to carry out actions which are based on the permanent values given to us by the Quran. For example, the Quran emphasized on the plight of the poor and the deprived repeatedly to invite us to prevent it from happening, as this hits at the balance within a society at a fundamental level. The transgression of these values means that in the long term, the effects will go against the interest of a society and will result in imbalance. The word fasad has been used as an opposite of islah at many points in the Quran. And today we are concluding our lesson here, and inshallah in the next lesson we will discuss a little bit more about fasad and its opposite islah and as to what they mean, and we will look at certain ayat in the Quran where these terms have been used. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.